Hi everyone, it's Charlie Kate here from ESTNN, and recently I had the opportunity to sit down with founder and CEO of Paper Crowns, Skyler Johnson, and their lead developer, Ollie Groves. We spoke about everything from Paper Crowns' humble beginnings, their recent collaboration with the CDL, and finally, what's next for Paper Crowns in 2021. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Here it is. We'll start straight away and just get a bit about, if you want to speak a bit on Paper Crowns, sort of what you guys do for people who may not know about you guys.
Love it. Okay. Yeah. We are a full-scale creative studio specializing in pretty much everything all across the board outside of augmented reality. We're currently trying to dip into that a little bit as well. Comprised of 25 plus individuals, most in which I've known over 5+ years. Kind of key strengths and focuses is brand development, brand identity, website development, software development as well, and kind of motion. When I say full scale, I actually genuinely mean that. So it's been a good run so far, just in terms of like what we've been able to do. And a lot of people don't know that we started the concept of Crowns long before the actual name and brand came together. And it was one of those moments where we were white labeling so many services for companies that we worked for inside of the space. So that's how we feel like we have such a very good endemic pulse to kind of focus on how to interact with the community, how to speak in a language in which the people can understand, versus a lot of those outside agencies that may or may not know how to resonate most with the universal mass gaming audience.
Yeah. So your partnership with the CDL started last year, obviously with the bracket challenge, evolved into the 100K bracket builder, and now the CDL Pick'em. How did that partnership with the CDL initially come about?
That was unique, right? We got an early message about one of the brackets that we built for a client of ours and how it could expand into something so much bigger. We originally saw the Warzone community was kind of going crazy and doing a lot of interactive brackets and the development of those in terms of just static and like updating on a website or something. So Ollie, which I'll let him speak on, kind of took it upon himself to really just take over that project and turn it into something bigger.
Yeah, so on the Activision side, internally, they were already looking into some kind of bracket challenge, and they were working with another agency to kind of get something going. And when they saw our system go out, it was kind of like what they were really envisioning from the start. And making that connection, they reached out to us and said, hey, like, how can we get involved in this? And I think they did go ahead with the other project that they were going, like, that was really in motion before we were on the scene. But that came out after the champs bracket that we did for CDL.
And so you've just made the CDL Pick'em, the little challenge where fans can predict the games, get results, get their results and win prizes if they do well enough. Could you go a bit more into the creative process behind that and maybe the inspiration behind making the CDL Pick'em?
So originally, Ollie, I think it'd be important for you to talk about the development aspect, but we just felt it was missing inside of our space, right? Like you see other, I guess, other areas full of competition are kind of labeled like the NBA, for example. They have a pick'em series. March Madness is one of the most explosive things in the United States when it comes to being able to fill out your bracket, pick who's going to win. And then we started to see like fantasy starting to get paired with a lot of these different items across the board. Yeah. So that's kind of what started the why, and then partnering that with Warzone and how interactive our community is currently. That's what really led to the overall. Hey, Ollie, let's deeper dive into this thing and kind of what it can become.
Picking up from that, I think it's just the way that it's kind of trending. Like different people are putting on Warzone tournaments. I know Vicstar did one. Envy are running one currently with Jack Links. And I think having that kind of fan interaction is becoming like a big sell. Like it gets people involved, not like more so just from like a watching perspective. They can kind of get in with their friends and make predictions, compete against each other. And then having like the sponsor benefits, obviously they can get involved and provide prizing. And it's like a not forced way of doing it. Like they can give back to the community through these events, and just really allows for like growth in that way.
Yeah, I mean, you see people such as League of Legends did one for the Worlds, and I don't even watch League of Legends esports, but because some of my mates are into it, I got into the pick'em, I filled it out, and then I started watching Worlds literally just because of that.
Yeah, we think that there's some element to kind of that whole can I win situation, right? I don't want to go as far as saying gambling on it, but everyone's always kind of been into that whole I think I know better than others, and or just hey, I want to compete and participate. And we think the latter, being able to have like a leaderboard and climb up that leaderboard is just such a good addition for anyone that wants to really get involved for a full season.
Yeah, definitely. Paper Crowns are a very new company, really. Correct me if I'm wrong, about 2 years old. But you've already worked with many notable streamers, companies, and teams such as Huskers, the Seattle Surge, and obviously most recently the CDL. You've very clearly got a team of talented people there. But did you expect the company to grow this quickly and to be able to win an esports award?
Not at all. Not at all. We're kind of in a position now where the growth it's one of those like very humbling, and we feel blessed. But at the same time, it can be overwhelming at times, right? And people don't ever want to admit that. But for us, we just have a lot of trust, from clients down to just even the partners that we've been able to develop that kind of fall out of that client mode, and they become, hey, we're actually really relying on you. Those type of growth moments are where we realize, hey, this is a lot bigger than us. This is something that we feel is going to be, as it's scaled from hey, we're making Twitch packs for super cheap at the time, compared to competition in the space. We realized, wow, this isn't really about the money for us as much as it is creating like solid art, and obviously being compensated for that, but also just being able to think outside the box, launch companies. I think has been one of the bigger things is people come to us and trust us to do their actual brand identities, right? And we're doing a couple right now. Shame that we're on some NDAs, but it's phenomenal. And when those get to drop, I think people will really see, wow, that there's people from outside the outside industry really trusting us to get them their foot in the door here. And I think that's a big thing for us as well. It's just that overall trust.
So we'll go to the past a little bit here, and then straight to the future for the next question. But so why did you create Paper Crowns? What made you want to create a digital creative agency? And for Ollie as well, how did you become the lead developer, and sort of what about Paper Crowns interested you?
Yeah, sure. This guy only take the first part of that.
Yeah. White labeling. I was sick of doing it openly. So, my past in this space is, I started as a pro player on that side and did the whole Envy thing. I founded that team, and watched that kind of expand. And during that expansion, when I was younger, right, I would see like, okay, we're bringing on a sponsor, right? At the time, I think it was pre-Astro Days, might have been like a Turtle Beach or something like that. And I would see like how they would enter us into the space. And I didn't think it was always right. And not Turtle Beach necessarily, but just anyone, right? That wasn't really used to how are my peers going to see us doing it, right? Or how are they going to see us crossing our arms and doing these goofy shots that I think some of these people do? I'm sure we've done it before in the past as well. And that made, okay, that, we needed to figure this out. And then I started taking a marketing role inside of an energy drink company in this space. And that's when I started developing a bunch of creatives, and I started just taking chances on people at the time that were super young. And I thought about what they will become versus what they are now. And a lot of them, any of them that have branched off, have gone off to do their own successful thing. And they're part of these big teams or big orgs, and doing just, good things for other people as well. And then the ones that kind of stayed loyal and stayed true to what we believed in, we actually left the scene to go work for a sunrooms and windows company for about 2 years to learn how to market outside of the space as well. We felt if we could learn that, then we could come back in the space for really powerful. So Crowns was just built off of the ideation of let's focus on how to speak to people. Let's focus on building identities that matter. And then through that, it was just developing and picking up talent, maybe people that we thought might not be at the senior level now, or, might be juniors or below even, but what will they become? And that's kind of always been our mantra is just forward think a little bit, and then kind of have that same belief in people that we would want to like believe in myself personally. So
yeah, and with me as well, like I got connected with this guy through a few friends of mine that were in Crowns at the time. One of them was actually another dev, and he's gone on to like pursue like his own company. But like early on, I was very I think Sky's really great in kind of showing the vision of where he wants to go. And at the time, like we said, some of the gigs weren't that great. It was kind of not that well paid, much lower tier clients type of thing. But it was really just kind of getting. I don't know. I definitely believed in where we could go, although it was nothing like where we have gone, if that makes sense. And then just coming like the lead dev, I kind of took on a lot of that pressure of trying to push the website, and I think part of that's why we've done quite well in having some of these higher tier clients. Like Sky said, unfortunately, we were not able to talk on some of them, especially some of the bigger ones that we've got going on. But it's kind of just gone strength to strength, really.
And all praise to his work ethic too. Like to say like he's not up 22 hours out of the day is an understatement, right? So it does come down to the hard work and kind of seeing like where we're at now versus where we wanted to be. And it's just been crazy growth, man. The Esports Awards is just a bonus. That was cool to just get recognition. That was just a cool thing, right? And we hope many more of those can come as just extra bonuses on top of the hard work and the partnerships that we're developing.
Yeah, and that resonates throughout the team. Like, I'm not obviously from the outside, I'm not sure how Crowns comes across to people, but I think to some we kind of seem like a swan. Like it's quite calm from the outside, but certainly on the inside, everybody is just full tilt, and the work ethic from everybody is insane. So it's super driving to be a part of that machine, and I think just where we've like gone and taken it from that, it's all it's just credit to everybody, really.
So we'll go straight to the future now. So we're right at the start of 2021. Got the whole year ahead of us. Hopefully, it's a little bit better than last year. But what's next for Paper Crowns in 2021?
Oh, dude, that's such an exciting question. We just keep building, and I think keep developing our talent internally. So I think we try to break it down into having like just pillars and core principles. And one of them is develop the talent internally, as well as making sure we're taking care of people from a mental health standpoint, as that's kind of been more of a pressing topic over the past year and a half. And then also focusing on talent development in terms of actual skill sets, right? If you're a motion designer and you're currently focusing on things that don't involve like Redshift or Houdini, pay for them to be able to dive into that. Sometimes we pay for courses for people because we think that's what sets people apart, right? We've thought about dabbling a little bit into the pre-mades, but it's not really our realm. So we might have fun there. But in terms of clientele, it's just show people that we're here for them. And I think put that passion in it. That's what I'm here for personally. So it's just really just develop as artists all across the board. And then, yeah, that would be it.
Yeah. So, Skyler, specifically for you, as a co-founder of Envy and former pro COD player yourself, was it a dream of yours to work with the COD League, and how did it feel to get to work with one of the games that really brought you into this space?
Best question. Phenomenal, man. Like I used to seriously just sit in my basement at the house way back when, and I believe it was at my mom's house, and just game with my friends for hours on hours on end, and then that turned into oh wow, I really think I could turn this into a pro career, and then that just started catapulting, and the whole way across the board, it's phenomenal. Who would have thought? It's a classic moment of I could have never imagined that in kind of like my wildest dreams, right? And honestly, I never even knew we would really get into the software service providing, right? I always had a niche for like creative, but it never really jumped into software until I met Ollie, and then all praise to him for developing.
And yeah, so we're just at the start of the CDL season now. Obviously, champs again in around August time. Don't want you to break any NDAs or anything, but could we expect another collaboration with CDL around champs about a 100K bracket builder again, for example?
Hopefully we could talk them into more, right? Hopefully we could talk them into bigger prizing. And in terms of those discussions openly haven't even happened yet. It's more so just been focused on getting this one right, making sure this experience is solid, and then see where else it can go across the Activision Blizzard family. And then hopefully try to dial it in and see what we can do towards the champ sessions. But Ollie, maybe you've had some internal talks that you're allowed to speak on.
No, I mean, there's obviously nothing, it's all just in the air at the moment, but I guess what I can say is that I know Activision are very passionate on giving back to the fans, and that's a core kind of sentiment internally. So I think anything's kind of open at the minute.
Finally, Skyler, again, as a co-founder of Envy, but with so many companies on the go at the moment, really, do you still get time to watch the CDL? And if so, what do you think of Dallas Empire this year? And for you, Ollie, as well, if you're a big CDL fan, what do you think of the COD League this year, and who have you got winning it?
Oh, you got to go first on that one because I'm heavy biased.
Yeah, so I'm massive COD League fan. I mean, going back to the question you posed to Sky, like it was a dream for me to be able to work on this as well, because like as a dev, I've wanted to kind of create things like fan driven. So it really puts me in the opportunity to be able to do that. I mean, it's nice to see Optic back together. It's nice to see Thieves back on the scene. I think there's going to be a ton of storylines this year. I don't know who I've got taking it at the moment, but it's definitely going to be a great year of COD.
Yeah, and for me, it's so hard to have bias towards teams. Obviously, the Envy Dallas Empire situation, I'm always going to root for. Well, I guess to answer the time question first, I put it on in the background like it's a podcast sometimes. Like if I'm working, I'll hear Nameless rattling things out, or Pack or Maven, just any all of those people, man, that they're just friends first. So it's like it's cool just to see their success, right? And it's cool to just see people that I used to play in GBs or Scrim or even just trash talk to 24/7 on forums or whatever it was. It's cool to see their success and just what they're doing now. And then to the players, it's cool to see them growing up. It's cool to see them getting old and their thumbs aren't working the same openly. It's cool to see all that, because to me, that's progression, right? And that's life, and that's how it works. And I've seen people come and go, and a lot of these people deserve everything that they're getting. It's been a long time, when I saw some of these salaries these players are getting, I still don't know if some of them are enough and some of them might be too much. Who knows? But that value point isn't for me to decide. It's just for me to be so happy for these guys. Empire is ridiculous, right? They're coming off some big wins in terms of scrims from what I've seen.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to do really well. I obviously always root for FaZe, Rocker because of Attach, Methods and Ultra, Silly. Honestly, everyone. There's just like I literally named everyone across the board. And a lot of that just has to do with just knowing the people first, right? And then kind of developing that. I don't really care about the teams openly. Like I just care about the people. I care about the friends, and even the people that I watch come up that might not have been or have that notoriety that are now on a big team, because you're like, oh, that kid was a hot shot, he just wasn't old enough, or that kid, we knew he was going to be good, right? It's good to see them finally stepping out in the scene, and there's some more of those that are about to keep popping off, I think, as obviously the league progresses and starts to establish itself.